Howdy folks, time for another delightful beer review. We're going to do a Christmas one today. I've had it since with Christmas, and I mean I could have kept it till next Christmas, but I thought I'd do it now. Fancy it. It's cold outside. This is a nice strong warming one. It's bottle conditioned as well, and you can keep this till 2014, November 2014. So I'm sure it'll get better with age. But yeah, so I could have kept it till Christmas, but nah, I'll get another one before then. And the beer we're talking about, it is Delirium Noël. Well, actually I seem to have the English label, it says Delirium Christmas, but most of the time you'll find this as Delirium Noël. From the Huyga brewery in, I believe, Brussels, Belgium. I've had one Delirium beer before. I've had Delirium Tremens, which I believe just means Delirium Tremors. I think when you drink too much you get the shakes. I think that's what it's playing on. And they have these rather nice stone effect bottles. I say stone effect because it is in fact glass, you can tell. 99% sure it's glass, but just some sort of coating on it to make it look like stone. Which is a shame in a way, because the last one I had of these, well, the Delirium Tremens one, which is like a blondie sort of beer, 9 point something, I think it was just 9% strength, but it was full of floating bits, absolutely full of them, and obviously being an opaque, a solid bottle like that, I couldn't see through it, so I had no idea. And it was left to settle and everything, it wasn't disturbed. I think it was just really, it didn't taste very nice, so I think something was up with that batch. Because Greg from Greg's Beer Reviews, if you've ever watched his review of Delirium Tremens, he mentioned the fact that he had a dodgy one as well. But then the one he poured on the review was crystal clear, so it must have been just a bad batch. Similarly, I went to a pub and had one, and it was fine. So hopefully this will be okay, but I believe it's going to be a dark beer, I'm guessing. So even if it had bits we wouldn't notice. It's 10% ABV, so it's strong. Like I said, it's a nice, strong, warming Christmas one. They have the good old pink elephant, Delirium, you know, on the outside, the nice red foil. So yeah, it's nicely presented. It looks very, very good. Gauloise, tulip glass, or tulip sort of style glass, not quite tulip glass, but balloon glass is the word I'm looking for. And I picked this one because if you get the Delirium branded glass with the pink elephants on, it's more or less the same shape as that, I believe, if I remember rightly. Yeah, it is. So yeah, temperature wise, I've had it in the fridge for about an hour. I've had it out for about 10 minutes, so it's just nicely cool. It's not cold, it's just nicely cool. Right, whoa, immediately there's a lot of smoke coming out of there. Don't know if you can catch that. Yeah, it's still going. So yeah. Ooh, that smells yeasty above anything to start with. Plain, I think it's just a plain bottle cap. Yeah, it's just a plain red cap under red foil. So yeah, not worth keeping. Plain red. Right. Bottle conditioned, obviously. So to avoid catching too much sediment, I'm gonna, if any, I'm gonna pour the whole lot in. So here we go. Pray to the good Lord that this. Oh, hang on. That's much lighter than I thought it would be. It's amber. So if there are floaters in this, we'll be able to see them. I mean, I've never read a review of this or seen it, or you have to judge by feel when you're close to the end to avoid getting all the bits in from the bottom. I think I poured too much in there. Not a chance. It doesn't feel like there's really anything in there anymore, to be honest. I think I've got it all, bar a tiny little drop. And I've done well there, because that tiny little drop had all the sediment in, because I've got not a speck in there. Oh, hang on, yes I have. It's very, very fine though, you can barely notice it. And that just looks lovely, holding it up to the light there. The dust all over this glass. Holding it up to the light there, it's just a nice deep ruby, almost amber. It's amber hued. It's almost a ruby red, and there's like a few bubbles coming from the side. There's one big huge stream coming right from the middle of the glass of like champagne bubbles. If I can you get them all right on the camera there, Fiona? Yeah, you haven't looked. Yeah, there's a big stream of like champagne style bubbles coming right from the middle of the glass, just straight up. So natural fermentation. The head is hanging around, although it's not very big. I don't see it hanging around for very long, mind, being a strong beer and everything. But yeah, that looks really, really good. I say I'll have to get a nose as we go down, but what I'm getting now is almost like a brandy sort of smell, like a really, it's quite subtle at the minute, at this point. Fruity. There's definitely not dark fruit. There's quite like almost like pears, and just alcohol that time. Although not overpoweringly so. I definitely got alcohol though. Agitated a bit more. Well, this has worked out quite well actually. The head now. Yeah, deep, rich sort of smell. I mean, you can see that just glowing off my hand. The red. That looks really good. I'm just going to dig in there. Cheers, folks. Remarkably light-bodied for a heavy beer. I mean, this is never brewed to be incredibly complex. It's just a, I'm sure it's just a winter warmer. It's just supposed to be strong and, you know, strong. Excuse me. The alcohol isn't masked. You can feel it. It warms your mouth up and it warms the very cockles of one's soul. So on that front, it's warming and it's perfect for the winter months. Not that sweet for a strong beer. You get a bit of sweetness when you first put it in, almost like a roasted caramel sort of sweetness. Well, as it fades out, you get that a bit of that astringency on your tongue. And if anybody, I keep saying that, if anybody doesn't know what astringency is, it's where it feels like it's drying your tongue out in your mouth, that ready for the next sort of sip. And it is a little bit fruity on the taste as well. Excuse me. It was important. If you have a burp, taste it. You get so much from it. It's true. When I went to beer tasting class with camera, they said taste your burps. Don't make yourself burp just so you can taste it. But when you do burp, have a bit of a taste. Sorry. Back to the beer.
I'm sure a man told you that.
Yeah. Yes, it was a man. Who cares? Anyway, wasting my valuable review time.
Yeah,
there's a bit of lace in there as well. You can see the head's hanging around. It's maybe sort of half a little finger's worth now, but it's lacing up and down the sides. And it looks quite creamy when you sort of give it a... Really nice. It's slightly off-white as well. Yeah, not a massive amount to it. It's quite a subtle... The fruitiness is quite subtle, but it's definitely there. It's almost... it's quite tricky, actually. It's a nice, warming, deep beer, but it's quite tricky to pick out... Yeah, dry, bitter. There's hops there, definitely. Dry, fairly dry, bitter hop finish. But you do get like pears, but like pear drops, like sweet pear drops. Coming through. It's a fairly sticky feel as well. I'm liking it. I can't say I prefer it to the Tremens because I didn't have a decent glass of that. I know I said I tried one at a pub. That was I had a sip with my dad. That wasn't actually mine. I've never actually sat down and had a clear, proper glass of the Delirium Tremens, so I'll have to get that again. I'm going over to Belgium in September just for the day, so I'm going to try and buy as much beer as I can carry. I'll have some good reviews out of it. I'll try and pick up a bottle of Delirium Tremens and one or two of their others as well. But yeah, this is really good. A typical Belgian beer. Full-bodied in taste, although it's medium to light-bodied in feel. And it's just